Burnley 2, Manchester United 2, another 2 dropped points, another missed opportunity to go into 4th place. My name is Eric. Welcome to the Red Devil Experience. Hope everybody is doing well, and I am here to not offer fake positivity because what I'm seeing in the fan base right now, I cannot absolutely stand, and I have to call out these people, these absolute hypocrites, because now it is acceptable. Now it is okay to drop 2 points to Burnley because we played the back four, and Darren Fletcher is a former Manchester United player that played a back four. So now nobody's angry, nobody's pissed off, nobody's screaming about standards. Everybody's saying, well, we played much better than what Ruben played, so now it's okay. Now it's okay to drop 2 points. Now it's okay to miss an opportunity. Now it's okay. Now we can be less mad. Now we can be less angry. And to that, I say every single one of those people are absolute hypocrites. You scream and yell at everybody about standards. You scream and yell at everybody and say, we are Manchester United. Where is that tonight? Where is that tonight? Okay? Because I don't care about the fucking stats in the game. I don't care if we deserve to win. We didn't win the match, okay? And ultimately, I'm not going to blame Darren Fletcher for this. I'm not going to have a go at Fletcher because it's not about him. But what I will do is, you sacked Ruben Amorim to do this, Ineos. You sacked Ruben so we can do this, so we can play a back four. My whole issue is these people don't understand that the team isn't good, okay? And it's one match, and I don't really give a shit. Because I know for a fact that it was never really about the system, okay? The system isn't going. There's no system to hide behind when the players aren't good. There's no system to hide behind when the team isn't a good team to compete, okay? And ultimately, we went out there and we dropped 2 points to Burnley. And we missed another opportunity. But the outrage, if Ruben did this, the outrage would be flying through the roof. The social media and the internet would be ablaze. The fan channels would be screaming and shouting, but we don't keep the same energy because it's not Ruben. We played a back four and we dominated the game against 19th place Burnley. I'm not having it with this hypocrisy in the fan base, okay? These people are flip-floppers. These people are full of shit, all right? Where are the standards? You know, people want to scream and yell at me about the standards. Where are the standards? Today, where are the standards? Because I'm not here to attack Darren Fletcher. The guy has a job to do. It's not about him. It's about this fan base. It's about the hypocrisy in this fan base. It's about the extreme emotionalism in this fan base. Today, we don't have to be angry because Fletcher took over and he's a former player and he played Shea Lacey and Sesko scored 2 goals and Sesko didn't score under Ruben, and where was Shea Lacey and Shea Lacey? But listen, those are the only positives of the game. The only positives of the game was that Shea Lacey came on and played good. I'll give you that. And Sesko scored 2 goals, and I'm happy he scored 2 goals. I'm happy he put the ball into the back of the net. The goals he scored was brilliant, okay? Those are the goals that I know he can score, and I look forward to seeing him score more goals. But the fans are eating up the Glazer-Glinios economics, okay? Because if they're doing this on the Fletcher, what do you think is going to happen when they put in Solskjaer or Carrick or both of them at the same time, okay? So, I'm not here for any of this, okay? It's bullshit, all right? It's not the system. The players aren't that good. We overrate the players, and the squad ain't that good, okay? Today's match that I watched, was there some moments that were great? Sure. Did we have a lot of opportunities? Sure. What difference is that in what was going on under Ruben? And I'm not here to defend Ruben. Okay? I'm just saying that people don't want to keep the same energy, and I'm here to hold you accountable to that because I don't stand for that bullshit. And also, I'm here to say, this is a fucking clown show that we got going on at this football club, all right? Because they bring you Fletcher. They did this. I think if Ruben was there, we probably would have had a better chance to win the match because you have a guy like Fletcher that has to take over, and he's an under-18s coach, and he ain't that experienced, all right? The team still played slow at moments. At some moments they didn't, but at some times they played slow. A little bit of lack of intensity at times. People still sloppy with the ball, still making mistakes. So, listen, I understand it's one game. I understand it's one match. I understand. I get it. But what I'm not having is the same people that were just screaming their heads off about this guy and his system and playing a 3-back because we're shit and we're dropping points to shit teams and we have standards and it's a disgrace. Nobody's saying that tonight. Nobody's talking about we dropped 2 points to Burnley and we're fucking fuming. Nobody's saying that. Nobody at all. And if they are, very few. Because what I'm seeing from the internet, what I'm seeing from reaction on social media across all spectrums, YouTube and whatever other streaming platforms, is, yeah, we're disappointed. It wasn't what we wanted. Here, you want me to read some of the reaction from the top people? From the top people with large followings, creators, okay? Beth. From the United Stand, yes, a draw is extremely frustrating against Burnley, and there's a lot of work to do, but I actually enjoyed that performance, and we deserve to win. Attacking football, multiple chances created, risky subs to win the game, youth given a chance. So all of that, that's okay to drop 2 points, though. That's okay to drop 2 points. We're not going to talk about standards. We're not going to talk about that it's a disgrace to drop 2 points against a 19th place team. We're not going to fume the same way we did because now we played attacking football, which, excuse me, it wasn't really that attacking because there was points in the game where we fell asleep, we turned off, and we allowed Burnley into the game, and they scored 2 goals against us. Okay? Multiple chances created. What difference does that make? We create multiple chances when Ruben was here. Risky subs to win the game. Okay, I give you that one. Okay? Even though, I wouldn't consider Bruno a risky sub because he said minutes was going to be managed and et cetera, et cetera. But, you put Shea Lacey on, I'll give you that one. Risky sub. Because you don't know. You're 2-2. You're away from home. Kid comes on. It's put on. And, he was really excellent. And I hope to see more of him. He looks like one that is, has quite good potential. He's very green, still very raw. Similar to sort of an Ahmad. Likes to cut in from the right side, take a shot. A little bit similar to Anthony, although, listen, the shooting is way better, of course, and he has way better intent, so I don't want to compare him to Anthony. Johnny Hill says, how you doing, mate? I made the mistake of going on X. It's crazy that I saw loads of posts from people slandering Kobe Mainoo, but they refuse to talk about players like Luke Shaw, Delo, and Xerxes. Well, that's what's going to happen, my friend. But it's okay. We're here. Listen, we're here to call out this hypocrisy in the fan base, okay? I don't know why people are slandering Kobe Mainoo. Okay, Luke Shaw had a chance. Listen, the chance that Luke Shaw had at the end of the game, and this dude stared at the ball and watched it like it was the second coming of Jesus and he didn't know what to do, okay? And he had all the time in the world to get to the ball, trap it, and then either take a shot or slot it across the net. And he didn't get to it and it went out of bounds. And then we drew the match, okay? Kobe was injured. Kobe hasn't played a lot this season. In as many minutes as some other players. And Kobe did well in some parts, and then he gave the ball away. So these people that are slandering Kobe, straight weirdos. I'll start off with that. Okay? I'll start off with that. And I hope everybody's doing good. Hope everybody's doing well. I wasn't going to stream, but I had to come and stream. It's a late one. If you're tuning in, I appreciate it. Make sure you're smashing the like button. If you're new and enjoy the content, please make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell icon. I had to come and I had to speak, okay? Because the reaction that I'm seeing from the fans, especially the big ones, okay? The big ones, the ones with the big names, the big platforms, the hypocrisy to me, because all they can do is sit here and think. And listen, if you didn't like Ruben and you wanted him sacked and you say because the performance is bad, that's fine, okay? But then keep the same energy when we draw 2-2 to Burnley. Because it's not because Fletcher's there, it's not because he played Shea Lacey. We drew the match. All right, we dropped 2 points. We missed another opportunity to go to fourth. So keep the same energy. Keep the same level of disgust. Keep the same anger. Don't start hiding it behind, oh, but we got to see Lacey. Oh, the youth was given a chance. That doesn't excuse the result, okay? So they want to shift gears now. They want to shift angles. They don't want to focus too much on dropping the 2 points against Burnley, a 19th place team. They don't want to focus too much on, missing another opportunity to go into fourth, because there was attacking football, because there was multiple chances created, because there was risky subs to win the game. Yeah, that's all great. We could talk about that, but I'm not going to let you hide behind that now. Where is the same anger? Because it was always the system. It was always solely the manager. It was never the players. It's not the team. The team, is perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine. It's just that this guy plays a really bad system and he's a horrible manager. Which I totally disagreed with, because I say that the club is, I think the players are highly overrated. I think our fan base overrates it. And I think that's still going to be a mitigating factor going forward. One of the things that makes me laugh is people is like, well, we're conceding goals playing a 5-back. What do you think's going to happen when we play a 4-back? You don't think we're going to concede goals? Oh, you think we're going to score more goals? We've been creating the third most chances in the league, playing a 3-back, playing a 5-back. People say we don't play attacking football under Ruben and playing the 3-back. I'm sorry, how did we create the third most chances in the league? How are we behind City and Arsenal if you're not playing some sort of attacking football? So, Richard says, sorry, Eric, because we put in a bad performance tonight does not justify. I'm not saying it justifies it. I'm not saying it justifies it, Richard. I didn't say that. I never said that. I'm just saying the people that were angry at Ruben, okay, and his shitty performances, where is the same level? Where is the same energy? Okay? Because that, to me, total hypocrisy. Total hypocrisy. And I don't care if it's after one match. I don't care. I don't care, because if Ruben was in charge today and we played the same way and we drew 2-2, the fan base would be sending themselves to Jupiter with Axe Lord, going absolutely mental, because it's a guy named Ruben Amorim and he plays his system. But now we get to, let's just hide it, okay? What about Alice? All right? Alice talks footy. Says, credit to Darren Fletcher. Don't think he got much wrong. Good subs. Well set up. Easily coached a 4-1 win. But sadly, we wasted chances. Conceded 2 random goals and had Burnley defending like prime Italy with the goal line. I'm sorry, but what the fuck? Isn't that what's been going on in our games anyway? Isn't that the same exact shit that's been going on with Ruben playing a back 3? Okay? So if Ruben is a disgrace, tonight's performance was a disgrace. But now, credit to Darren Fletcher. Don't think he got much wrong. Maybe the subs you have a point to say on. but easily coached a 4-1 win. I'm sorry. When I watched Sesko miss 3 fucking sitters the other day, and did he not coach a win? Did he not coach a game where we scored 3 goals and we were going to win? Do we not always manage to concede some random shitty goals? But now it's okay. Today is okay. Because the man named Ruben Amorim isn't here, and he doesn't play his bad system. So the result is okay today. The performance and the result is okay today. Okay? It's not about what Ruben's done. It's about what is okay today. Today is okay to drop 2 points against Burnley. I'm so fed up with Beth, I swear, says SD. Johnny L says, the one thing that I've not seen enough people complain about is why did he have Cunha and Dorgu on opposite sides instead of the sides they should be on? I don't know. Listen, when you're a manager, you can choose to do whatever you want based on what you plan, or, you listen, a manager can put Cunha and Dorgu on opposite sides and they could win 5-0 and look like a genius. But if you don't, then, Johnny, you can say, well, why didn't he put them on the other sides? I don't know. Maybe if he put them on the other sides, we would have lost 3-0. I don't know. I'm just saying. Richard says, Eric, I do not support any manager or player. Support Manchester United. Well, that's fine, and that's you. But I'm calling out the rest of the fan base for the hypocrisy. The same people who talk about standards all the time are now hyping up a draw against Burnley. And this is my point. Okay? So if you don't support, I'm not saying anything about anybody else, but if you're one of these people and you're going on social media and you're putting up the stats of the game and you're saying it's better than Ruben, and you're not talking about the fact that we've dropped 2 points against Burnley and that we missed another opportunity to go to 4th, I call hypocrisy. And I will fight anybody on this. Okay? Hesty says, under any manager, we always sit back after scoring. Well, yeah, that's been a thing that we've been doing for quite a while. So it's kind of like a heritage type of thing as it is right now. Johnny Hill says, it's actually crazy, bro. They was posting goals and assists and shot stats for a player who put in Casemiro's position. Richard says, here's what we need to do. Get rid of all the Generation Z and Generation Alpha in our fan base, who basically know fuck all about our club and its history. Richard says, Ruben, 38% win rate. Ollie, 51.9% win rate. Well, I have a couple 2 cents on Ollie Gunnar Solskjaer, and I'll get to that in a second as well. So, it's not the system, says Ray. It's the individual discipline that is ruining our game. Not even individual discipline. It's just lack of quality. I mean, there's a reason why I say that I don't think the team is very good. And it's because I don't think the team is very good. And it's the reason why I make the argument. It's not really about the system. Because the system, there's no system in the world that's going to hide shitty players or a bad team. Okay? If you're a bad team or you're bad players, you're going to fail. You're going to get exposed. So, these people that swore up and down, and we'll see what happens. Listen, Darren Fletcher, maybe he'll be the manager for one more match, and Ollie will come in, and, the 4-back is going to be here. And we've made arguments before. Listen, we've played 4-3-3, we played 4-2-3-1, we've been decently good, and then we've been shit, and we've been horrible. So, I never believed in any of that, but I'm here to hold these people accountable because, I'm just not having any of it. I'm not having any of it. I'm not having any of it. Okay, again, Richard, you come in here, you're talking about Ruben Amorim's win ratio. I'm not doing that. So you're misguided in what I'm saying, okay? I'm strictly talking about people that have come to me and talked about standards and said that it's the formation and said that it's the system. And then we play a 4-back and we still play shit. They are now coming out and they are excusing drawing to Burnley because we saw some youth and we played a 4-back. They are excusing dropping 2 points. They are trying to parade it around like it is some sort of achievement because it's so amazingly different today when it's not. It was still not that great of a performance. We conceded 2 goals to a 19th place team. We drew the match, we dropped 2 points, and we missed another opportunity. The difference is there's a guy named Ruben Amorim, and he's not here, and he's not playing a 3-back. And there's a guy named Fletcher who is, club legend, ex-player, and he's in charge of the team, and he played a 4-back. So now it's okay. Now we can be less angry, okay? It's not about Ruben's win ratio. It's not about what win percentage he had. No. It's about the fan base not keeping the same energy. It's about these weirdos in the fan base that think they know football, like you said, and think they know what they're talking about, but they don't know what they're talking about, and they cause a mass hysteria in the fan base, talking shit about something, and then they don't have the football IQ to back it up because they never did in the first place because they never made any valid points anyway. They just scream words. I never wanted to lose 2 points, but to compare Fletcher with Ruben, I'm not comparing Fletcher. It's not about Darren Fletcher. Again, you're missing the point. You are missing the point of what I am talking about. I am talking about the fans. I am talking about the fan base. And I will talk about Ineos in a second because they are also culpable for this. Because they put us in a position where they sacked the guy, not because of performances. They sacked him because he talked bad about them, which was accurate because they're not doing their job. They're shit at their job. They deserve to be called out, and Ruben deserved to get sacked for calling them out because when you call out your bosses, that's probably what's going to happen anyway. But they put us in this position. The fact that we need to be in a position that Darren Fletcher, who is at best an under-18s coach, but I have nothing against Darren Fletcher, big respect to him, wanted him to win today, didn't want him to drop points, wanted him to win, and anybody that comes into this football club after, I want them to win. I want them to get 3 points. But I don't like the situation we're in. I don't like how we got here. I don't like how we're going about it. And Ineos are fully to blame for this. Okay? So I'm not here to criticize Darren Fletcher. I haven't said one bad word about Darren Fletcher. I'm not comparing Darren Fletcher to Ruben Amorim. You are not listening to the words coming out of my mouth. I am going after the hypocrite fan base. The hypocrite part of the fan base that are trying to parade this display and this performance and this result as something to be super happy about when it is the same shit. Okay? Like Saeed is coming out saying, I get the sense that a lot of these Amorim inners are happy Man United dropped points tonight. First of all, not happy at all. I don't know if you could tell by my tone, but I ain't happy. You see me celebrating. Do you see me cheerful? Do you see me gleeful? I ain't fucking happy. I'm pissed off. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm doing this show. Because I am pissed. I am pissed that we dropped 2 points. I am pissed that we are in this position where we sacked our manager. I am pissed that they went back on the project that they were supposed to build. I am pissed that they didn't see it through. I am pissed and I am embarrassed. I am fully embarrassed that we are about to go and hire a guy that we sacked and get him back in as the manager. Okay, I am embarrassed by that. It's nothing against Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I don't hate Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And when he gets the job, I wish him nothing but the best. I hope he gets us top 4, and I hope he does great. There's a part of me that scares me because I think if he gets us European football, they might give him the job permanently again. And I think that's a massive fucking mistake. But I am embarrassed that the best that Ineos has to offer is that they sacked our manager. They bring Darren Fletcher for a match. Now listen, it was short notice, so what can you do? But the best they can offer up Is they going to go and get the manager that we already had, that was already an interim, that we already gave the full job to, and you're going to bring him back to be the interim again? To me, that's fucking embarrassing. Okay? And it has nothing to do with Ali, but it's fucking embarrassing. I am fully embarrassed that we are going to bring back a guy that we sacked. I think that's crazy. I think it's asinine. And I think these people are trying to play an absolute blinder, which they already have, in that they are trying to go down the emotional route so that people get all excited about Ali again and the ex-player thing, and maybe we'll throw in a Carrick in there, and maybe we'll get Johnny Evans, and you'll have a trio of ex-players, and it'll be something similar but different but new but sort of the same that we already did. And it puts fans in a weird place, okay? Because number one, they're temporary, all right? They're interim. So right off the bat, the pressure, the standards to a certain degree, everything sort of just goes aback, okay? And people are already talking about vibes this and vibes that, and maybe we'll have some fun when Ali comes in and we'll go to the end. Listen, maybe we will. Maybe we will. Maybe we will. But I can't be one of these people, because I think that Ineos are doing Glazer 2.0 shit, and they are trying to get in these people to take the heat off of them, distract the fan base, make everybody sort of feel good with nostalgia and be okay and happy with things. And, I also think it's a bit of a gamble as well, in terms of, well, I don't know. Well, the team that Ali took over is quite different to this team. And I don't know how well it's going to go in a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3 or whatever he plays. My other big issue with this is that, when I did the show originally, when they sacked Ruben, or the day before they sacked Ruben, okay, I said that they probably wasn't going to sack him because they were desperate not to. Yeah, they didn't want to pay the money. They wanted to try and get to the end of the season. Ultimately, he sort of forced their hand in what he said and did. Okay? And then it took me another day to think about it. And I said, well, when you think about it, they sacked Ruben. They paid him 15-20 million. Okay? Well, 15-20 million is a lot cheaper than going to buy a player in January, which, by the way, we ain't going to do now, because we have a temporary coach coming in. We don't even have one right now, but we have a temporary manager coming in. And then the actual manager is going to be appointed in the summer. So guess what that means for January? No money spent, which is what they wanted to do, because they told Ruben we ain't going to spend money. They wanted Semenyo, but then they were like, we're not going to spend money now. So they paid 20 million, which is a lot cheaper than going to buy some players in January, which we still need, by the way. We still need, whether we play a 2-back or a 17-back, we still need players. We're not getting that. They're going to put in Ali here, and everybody's going to be all, some people are going to hate it, but some people are going to love it, and some people are already getting excited by it. And they're going to do exactly what they've been trying to do, which is push the can down the road to the summer. I think this is totally gross managing of the football club. I think it's a joke, and quite clearly their project that they tried to tout to us about winning the Premier League trophy is clear and obviously totally full of shit. It doesn't exist. It's all bullshit. Okay? The real project, like I said last time, it is quite clear and evident now. And if you haven't realized this by now, I don't know what to tell you. Open your eyes. Start thinking outside the box. Okay? They did well to disguise it, but now to me, it's blown up in front of everybody, and it's quite obvious to see. The goal and their project is to string the fan base along long enough for them to build the stadium so that they can get the revenue from the stadium, so that they can get all the money in, and then they can try and sell the football club for about 10 billion, and then they can fuck off. Okay? And to do that, you need to string the fans along with some other project. Things are different, things are new, things are changing, and we're gonna win you the league. And oh, you know what? Things haven't gone our way, but we promise we'll get there. Just give us another couple years, and look, we're doing all these changes, and they're gonna string the entire fan base along so that they can get to when the stadium gets built, because that is their ultimate goal. The ultimate goal of the Glazes and Ineos, otherwise known as Glinios, because they are pretty much basically the same, is to string everybody along so that they can build their brand new stadium and reap all the rewards from it. And then they can sell the football club for the price that they've been saying that the football club is worth to them. There was no need to take Heaven out, says Ray, and put Euro. Couldn't keep Bruno for another 10 minutes after the goal. Listen, he said, I gotta be fair to Darren Fletcher. He said in the press conference, minutes managed, okay? And he pulled Bruno when he pulled Bruno, okay? So, the medical team, I would assume, said he can play this amount of minutes. He hits that amount of minutes, off the pitch. Nothing you can do about it. I don't really blame him. Abraham Joseph says, exactly, my brother. Total hypocrisy. This is the exact thing I am saying. I am sorry, but if we lose to Man City and Arsenal, just watch the new excuse of these hypocrites. Yeah. And this is what they do. They'll be going on about it, about how it's so much better to watch, and it's great that the academy is getting a chance. And listen, some of those things, there are obviously quite differences, but that doesn't mean that now the tone gets to completely shift. That doesn't, because when you yell at people and you talk about standards of this football club, when you scream at people and berate people and attack people because you say they have no fucking standards, and then you toss those standards off the side of a cliff because now we're playing a formation that you like better. Now it's okay. This is where I draw the line in this fan base. I draw the line at this shit, okay? I'm not excusing what Ruben's done. I'm calling out the fans for not having the same level, the same energy. Okay? That's what I'm calling out for. If you're going to do it to Ruben, then you should be, and I'm not saying you do it to Fletcher, but I'm saying you should still be the same amount of pissed off that we just drew the match 2-2. You should still be angry that the team performed the way it did and got the result it did. You should have the same level. And if you don't, I think you're full of shit. All right, Rich is left. Listen, you don't come and attack me on my show, okay? You're not listening to the words I'm saying. And if people have a problem with it, there's always the door, okay? That's just how I am now. And if you don't like it, you can go. If you want to have a discussion about it, if you want to listen to the words coming out of my mouth, if don't make things up in the chat talking about things I'm not saying, okay? Listen to the words I'm saying, and then we can have a conversation. If something bothers you, then you can go. I can't baby people. All right? I am not a babysitter. I'm not. This is real life. This is a show. Okay? So that's it. I mean, I'm getting attacked here because I'm talking about something where I'm trying to make a point that it's not about Darren Fletcher. It's not about Ruben Amorim's win ratio. I'm calling out the fans for being hypocrites, for not keeping the same energy, for trying to make this so positive. Meanwhile, we dropped 2 points against Burnley, and we missed an opportunity to go to fourth. And that was the fucking case when we played 4 days ago against Leeds, okay? And now, it's not the case. Now, nobody is saying shit. Barring a few. There's a few that have said, listen, it was shit. Same shit. Doesn't matter. And, kudos to them. I think Flex on the United View, I caught a couple of seconds. He was saying it on his thing. Okay? But there's a lot of people out here with a massive following of fan base, and they are trying to flip this into a positive. When, in my opinion, whatever you said last week against Leeds, you should be saying the same thing about the team today, okay? I'm not saying to destroy Darren Fletcher. I'm not saying to because listen, and this is the whole point. How can how can anybody really slaughter Darren Fletcher? All right? He's under 18's coach. He's trying to help us win. It's not his fault Ineos are stupid as fuck and they're incompetent. It's not Darren Fletcher's fault that Ineos decided to back a manager with 200 million, and then fucking 4 months later they decided to do a 180 U-turn on that project and on that manager, and then wanted to just go the complete opposite direction. It's not Darren Fletcher's fault. So I haven't criticized Fletcher at all. It's not Fletcher's fault that we play like shit, because I don't think Fletcher can make much of a difference anyway. I think the team isn't that good. I think the fans overhype the shit out of our players. I think they're unrealistic about this team. I think they think that they're way better than they actually are. And like I said before, I don't believe any system is going to save you when you are shit. So, like I've been saying, you might be unhappy with the 3-back, but I've seen us be shit with the 4-back. And I know that we'll probably be shit with the 4-back anyway. Now, when Ollie comes in, I hope he does well. I hope we're not shit. I hope we don't miss out on top 4 and stuff like that. And I hope we do get it. But I can't sit here and pretend like everything is going to be okay. I'm not going to sit here and be, just positive just to be positive, because I'm worried. Okay, I am worried. I'm worried about Solskjaer coming back. I don't like going backwards. Okay, I didn't like when we got Pogba back. Okay, I thought that was embarrassing and that was stupid as fuck. And look how that turned out. The only exception I ever made was Cristiano Ronaldo, because he's the fucking GOAT. And I always wanted Ronaldo to come back the second we sold him. So, to me, that was the one exception, and look how that turned out, okay? Even that didn't go well, and even I sort of regret it. It was still good to see. It still gave me a moment of, feeling my childhood, and, I was really happy to see him wear the kit again. I was like, you belong here, this is your home. But the way it went, ultimately, it wasn't good, right? It wasn't good for the club. It wasn't good for Ollie. It wasn't good for the team, in the way it went. Like, he scored goals, but I think I think that signing hurt Ollie in the team he was building. I think it was a problem. And obviously, I think the only reason why it actually happened was they didn't want him to go to City. And they wanted, Ronaldo is exceptional talent, but in their eyes, he's just a giant money bag, Ray says, we are a team that we don't push for a win. Ollie is going to fail from the start this time. Listen, I don't know if he is. I can't say if he will. I can't say if he won't. All right, I'm gonna do like I always do, and we'll see. We'll wait and see. I don't think it's a very smart idea. I don't think it's a very smart decision. I'm a bit nervous about it because I think this is a massive gamble. And ultimately, whatever happens, I'm still not going to go and attack Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Like, I know this fan base, and I'm going to tell you what this fan base is going to do right now, okay? When he gets the job, okay? When he gets the job, there's going to be one of two things, all right? If he does well, the people that never wanted Ollie sacked, and the people that always felt like it was wrong to sack him, and the people that have been wishing for him to come back are going to run around and tell everybody, I told you so, I told you so, I told you so, blah, 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 blah. Now, if it goes bad, the people that thought Ollie was a clown show and that whole thing was shit, and they were glad to see him go out the door, and even the people that are overtly very pissed off about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer coming back now, What they're going to do is they're going to start saying, I told you Ollie was fucking shit. He's shit. You guys are, whatever. Listen, at the end of the day, I can't blame Darren Fletcher. I can't blame Solskjaer. I can't blame Carrick. We can't do that because ultimately Ineos are the ones that have created this entire situation along with the Glazers. And I'm tired of just mentioning just the Ineos because it makes it seem like the Glazers don't own 56% of this fucking football club or whatever it is. And meanwhile, they're there, okay? And they still have influence, all right? And people tend to forget they have influence because nobody's talking about them and their name's not popping up in reports from journalists because it's all about Ineos now, okay? They might have control over the football operations, but you don't own 56 or 60% of something without having some authority over the minority investment, okay? So you best believe, I mean, there was a report that said that, I don't know, it was Avram or Joe Glazer, that they got involved with the Ruben thing, that they were fucking pissed about it. So they're still there. And they're still trying to make £10 billion from this football club. So, but listen, what I was saying is I'm not going to get mad at Ollie. I'm not going to attack Ollie if it goes bad. Okay? I'm not going to say Ollie is shit and haha, I told you so or anything like that because it's fucking pointless, right? The guy, and this is the point that they're doing. This is what they're trying to do. They're trying to split the fan base, okay? They're trying to confuse the shit out of us. They're trying to tone down the fire, They're trying to put out the fire. Because the other day I had an analogy and I said, well, everything at the football club is on fire, and especially around the manager's position. And if everything around the manager's position is on fire, the manager is going to catch on fire, burn, and that's it. And that's still true. But what they're trying to do is they're trying to put the fire out with love and affection and nostalgia. That's what they're trying to do, all right? Because like I just explained, there will be people out there that are not going to do the avenue that I'm doing. There's going to be people out there that they are going to lower the standards, that they're going to lower the tone, that they're going to lower the energy, because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is now here, and he's temporary, okay? He's temporary. When you're temporary, it's very hard to get super angry as if you had a permanent manager. And especially if you kept Ruben Amorim here, okay? Because of what he already had done. So everybody, or not everybody, but a lot of people are going to, listen, if it goes bad, okay, a lot of people are going to be, well, he just came to help the club and it's only temporary and, we'll get the new manager in the summer and, it'll be fine. We'll get Tuchel in the summer or we'll get fucking Ancelotti in the summer. And it's like, hello, the whole reason why everybody was pissed was because everybody said we could do better. And even some of these people said that we could do better, that we could do better once Amorim is sacked. They told me as soon as Amorim is sacked, anybody can come in and do a better job. Now, we don't know what's going to happen. But I'm just talking that if it does go bad, I'm telling you what these people are going to do. Okay? And that's not going to work because if it goes bad, it means that we don't finish in a European spot, which many people say, it's quite easy to do because the league is pretty much shit to a certain degree. And, it's still right there. Even after today, we dropped to 7th. It's still technically there. Nothing really happened. But ultimately, listen, if it goes well, there's going to be many people asking for him to be manager 2.0, which I think is a joke. I think it's ridiculous. And listen, my pick is not Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I would go with Michael Carrick if we're in this situation. You know, I would go with Michael Carrick because he's just somebody that we haven't really tried before, and I don't believe in going backwards, and I don't think it's a good idea. And the only way that they get about this is that they bring in Ollie and they say, listen, no matter what you do, we don't give a shit if you end up getting second. No matter what you do, you're not getting the permanent job. But that typically doesn't happen when you hire an interim. No interim really. Now listen, Ollie is a nice guy and he loves Manchester United. So he might actually be the only exception to probably ever exist in the history of football. Because no other actual person that goes into an interim job goes into the interim job talking about, yes, I will accept the job no matter how good I do. I understand that I will not become manager and I'm just going to be here, So Ollie might be the exception because apparently he's willing to do it for free. I mean, I don't think he's actually going to do it for free, but his agent or his people are putting out saying that, he pretty much said, listen, forget about the money, forget about the contract. He's like, I just want to help Manchester United, which I could respect. Ollie is the nicest fucking guy there is. He's a lovable guy. I mean, how can you hate him? Even if he's shit, even if he does shit, right? You can't actually hate him. Like, I find it hard to hate the guy. He's a guy that you kind of just want to like sit down, have a chat with, and be friends with. That's just like his natural thing. He's just not a bad guy. But it's just to me, it's just like, no, like I feel like we're in a simulation. I feel like the AI has taken over the world or something. I feel like AI couldn't even make this scenario up that we've ended up in. And I know I'm not talking much about the match because I think the bigger context is everything else surrounding it. Because I think this situation we're in is quite shit. So, Ray says, for me, this is the first time stop buying United merchandise for me and my family. No more money for the Glazers. Well, I ain't buying any either, unfortunately, because you know what? It's a damn shame because I think they do make some nice, clothing. Forget about the kits, but they do have some cool clothing. And I would love to own it and wear it, but like, I listen, I can't buy it again. So, it's even hard to buy the kits because it's like, I know people have this thing about the kits where it's like, you're like a grown man and you're wearing some like, person that's like 10 years younger than you on the back of you. I'm like, listen, let me enjoy my life. All right. Let me enjoy my life. I don't give a shit. All right. It gives me a bit of nostalgia. All right. When I was a kid, I used to get the kits with the fucking name on the back. I want to get the kits with the name on the back, but I can't even get the kits with the name on the back because you just like, you have like a 65-70% chance that whatever player you buy on the back in 3 years' time, you're going to look at that and say, why the fuck did I buy that? I just pissed away money because I can't wear that kit I can't wear that kit in public. That's fucking embarrassing if I wear that, because of how they turned out. So, Ray says, how can you flip this game into a positive when you lose second from the bottom team? I tell you how, Ray, because we played a 4-back and Darren Fletcher played Shea Lacey and, Kobe Mainu came on the pitch and he came back and, we apparently we played attacking football like, that we haven't been playing fucking attacking football because these people have something in their brain that if you play a 3-back and then they want to call it a 5-back because they ultimately default to it's 5 defenders, even though, I don't know. I mean, at the time, it might have been 5 defenders because, I don't know, Ahmad's at AFCON, but Ahmad's not a fucking defender, and he plays in one of the wing-back roles, and it's not a defensive position. But, people make up whatever you want, in your head. You just don't look into it. Don't think about it too much. Just say whatever comes to your brain at that moment in time. Because people have tried to tell me we play 5 defenders, and I'm like, all right, well, if the squad is decimated and we have no substitutes, well, then yeah, we're going to end up playing 5 defenders. But when the guy was here and he played Ahmad and he's asking for a Semenyo or he's asking for another, he's saying he wants another Ahmad on the left-hand side. Well, he's telling you he doesn't want defenders, he wants attackers. So that's, but don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. But how you can flip it? Very easily, because of what these people are saying. Like these people, certain Manchester United fans all of a sudden want to see a perfect Manchester United performance under 18 coach Darren Fletcher after one training session. But we're happy to watch the most anti-Manchester United performances for 14 months under Ruben Amorim. I'm not asking for perfection. I'm asking you to be fair. I'm asking you to not hide the shit performance and the shitty result and the missed opportunity. I'm asking you to keep the same level, okay? You don't have to attack Darren Fletcher for it, but you're not talking about the team's performance. You're not talking about the missed opportunity in the same way. You're not also then, you're actually not going as far as to call Ineos to be in this position, to have Darren Fletcher as the under-18s coach, because of the way they handled the things and went about the things that they've done, okay? Because they've made the same mistake twice now, all right? They didn't know whether they should back or sack Erik ten Hag. They didn't sack him. They backed him, and then they sacked him 3 months into the season. We then had Ruben, which, listen, fair play to some of you that said he should be sacked after that season. And maybe he should have. And I was one of the people that said, listen, let's get some players in, because ultimately I think there's a discrepancy about how you go about that project. And they chose not to sack him. So in my opinion, when you don't sack that guy, that means that you have chosen to go and transform the team. If you're going to transform the team, it's going to take time, it's going to take money, it's going to take patience, it's going to take understanding, and it's going to take execution. Okay, they did the first part of the summer. Okay, we still needed midfielders, and we still needed to do a defense. Right? And then you know the rest. We got to January. They didn't really seem like they wanted to give him money. They wanted him to play a 4-back. I respect the fact that he stuck to his laurels and wasn't a lapdog and wasn't a fucking puppet and was like, listen, if you sack me, you sack me. But fuck you and your 4-back. That's not what we agreed to. I'm going to play my way. I'm going to do my thing. And if you don't like it, you can sack me and pay me and I will leave. Which is fair enough. Fair enough. I could respect that to a certain level. I can. But now we have Darren Fletcher here. And again, no hate towards Fletcher. I love Fletcher. Thought he was a fantastic player. And I hope... I wish he got the 3 points today. And I wish, or I hope, that if he's in charge for the next match of the weekend, I hope we win. I want to see a win under Darren Fletcher. I want him to be able to get a win in charge of Manchester United. I want him to be able to celebrate. I respect him going over to the away fans with the entire team and having the entire team and himself go to the away fans, clap the away fans. The away fans fucking deserve it. The away fans are magnificent. Always. And, and the home fans. But I'm saying specifically tonight, the away fans, they're always magnificent. You go to away stadiums, and I'm a person that I obviously can't go. I watch on TV, and I always hear them chanting. They're always making their presence known, whether it was shit, good, amazing, or bad. Okay, so they deserve that much, at the very least, and I respect that. And Fletcher gets the club, so he understands it. And listen, I thought Shea Lacey was brilliant. And listen, Ruben has his things. Like, he did put him on in that one game, but then he didn't put him on after, and I don't think it took a genius. I saw Shea Lacey there at the first game, and I saw how the intent to go take that shot under Ruben Amorim, and I was just like, that kid has something about him. You can tell right away. Now, whatever Ruben's reasoning is for not putting him in more, that's his reasoning. But he ain't the manager anymore. But, yeah, for me, the 2 big positives, really, well, listen, there was like 3 or 4 big positives. The 3 or 4 big positives of today was Shea Lacey coming on, doing the things he was doing, and, taking the risk to put him on, I guess, as you can say. Sesko scoring the 2 goals, which was brilliant. I know he can score those goals. This is why I've been backing him. I look forward to seeing him score more goals like that. And he desperately needed those goals, so that's massive. Bruno coming back, Mason Mount coming back, Harry Maguire being on the bench and coming back. All positives. All positives for the team going forward, right? I'm happy they're back. Bruno got an assist. It was good to see Bruno playing a 10. It was good, okay? All positives. But I'm still pissed that we drew the match 2-2, and I'm still mad at the team. I'm still mad at the players. I'm still mad that we couldn't manage to go and get a win. Many people said before we played the match that we were expected to win the match and that we would win it regardless of if Ruben was here or if Fletcher was here, because it's a match we should be playing. But when we end the match and I see the fan base not talking about it in that way and trying to paint, talking about look at the possession stat, look at the number of shots on target we had. Has Gary Neville actually come out and said I would not support the return of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? Because if he said that, I will give him credit. I will. I don't know if this is real. I'm seeing it. If somebody wants to get in the chat and tell me, Mr. Reynoso is here. How you doing, my friend? How are you? Says, yo, homie, why aren't you smiling? Vibes to see us. But no. Listen. We're happy, okay? We're happy. We are so happy that I couldn't get more happy if I took a bunch of drugs and got super fucking high, okay? We couldn't be more happy, all right? Vibes. Listen, we played a 4-back today. We saw Shea Lacey, yeah? And that's all that matters. So we're so happy. It's amazing how happy we are. I've never been more happy in my life because we played attacking football today. We played a 4-back and the club is back. Guys, we are back. We are back. We're going to win the league. We're going to win the Champions League this year. This season, we're winning the Champions League. We're also going to win the World Cup. Not the Club World Cup, the actual World Cup. Because we're playing a 4-back. Solskjaer is coming back. And Fletcher's in charge of the club. And, you know, Shea Lacey's getting on the pitch. So we're going to win everything. Now we're going to be amazing. Now we are amazing. We are amazing. We are the greatest thing since Sir Alex turned us into amazing from a period that we were shit. I mean, I don't know. It makes me laugh. You know what I mean? It makes me laugh. Because some people are actually like that. Like, you think I'm just being a dickhead. But there are some people out there that are actually like that. But I want to know, can anybody confirm to me? So this was actually on TV. Gary Neville on Sky Sports actually said, Wait. That's a double negative. He said, I wouldn't not support the return of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Okay, I read it wrong. I wouldn't not is a double negative, which means that he would support the return of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I thought he said, I would not support the return of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, which surprised me because quite clearly that's his mate. And he was literally the least criticized manager out of all the managers because it was all of their mates. Which, again, has nothing to do with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but just literally these guys, okay? And their hypocrisy. And they're being full of shit. All right? Hold on. I have to listen to this. I don't know if I can listen to this. I can't listen to this. I'm just gonna have to take it at face value that he said I wouldn't not support the return of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, which means you would support. You are supporting the return of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. That makes more sense to me. I was a bit surprised. I was like, there is no way Gary Neville just came out and said that on live. You know what I mean? On Sky Sports in front of everybody. Renoso says, I could feel that United DNA rush back to my nuts, bro. Well, listen. I'll be a bit fair, okay? Cause like I always try to be. Listen, the 3-back was not my favorite formation. I never really liked the 3-back. It's not my preferred thing, but I'm never under the illusion that we ain't good because we're now playing a 3-back, okay? And my direct argument is to these people that swear up and down and try to tell me that if we play a 4-back, we're going to be fucking amazing because we're way better than we actually are. And my argument to that is I don't think we are. We have a payroll. We have a weekly budget, not a weekly budget. What am I saying? We got a player wage budget. Okay, we spent our budget on weekly wages. Okay, is 6th in the Premier League. If you take all the Premier League teams and you put them in a table like we do with points, and you put them on wage bill expenditure, we are 6th. Okay, in that table. That means the level of players we buy and what we're paying them. Okay, where are we right now? 7th. Where have we been for almost practically the whole season? 6th. There is a reason for that. And there is a reason why we can't actually go into 2nd place or 3rd place. Because we don't have the quality. And my other argument will also be, and I will tell you, okay? If people want us to be a team that competes constantly for Premier Leagues, Champions Leagues, and consistently stays in Champions League football from year to year to year to year, I will tell you this. We need to stop going, many people will say we have gone backwards. And we have, okay? But now, listen, we tried the Ten Hag, it didn't work, and ultimately, it's not all their fault, right? The club is run like shit, and they're probably always set up to fail. But also, I think there is another factor on the flip side of this. Jose Mourinho is factually the guy that has the best win ratio at this football club. He is also the one that has had the best finish, okay? He finished 2nd and he won us a Europa League. Nobody else has done those things to that amount, right? Ali finished 2nd, but he was like 17 points. I mean, Mourinho was too, but he didn't win trophies, so he's less than Mourinho. Ten Hag won a Carabao Cup and an FA Cup, but those trophies are lesser, and he didn't finish 2nd, right? I think he finished 3rd, though. So Mourinho has the best win percentage. Mourinho succeeded the most. Okay, my argument to this is, I think out of every manager that we've had at this football club, post Sir Alex Ferguson, I think Mourinho is the one with the best CV, the best accomplishment, and was the best manager in general, in like the totality of careers. Okay, I think he had a better career than Van Gaal. He's obviously better than Moyes. He's better than Solskjaer for sure. He's better than Ten Hag for sure. He's better than Amorim. He's better than Ralf Rangnick. He's better than all of them. And he still holds the best win percentage, and he had the best in terms of accomplishment at this football club. All right? Those things correlate because the CV, I think the CV plays a lot. Once upon a time, people used to say, the CV doesn't matter. No. I think the CV matters a lot. So if you're one of these people that demand that we are in Champions League football every single season, and that you demand that we should be going for the title immediately, and that we should be, going for the Champions League title immediately, well, that throws like Areola out the door, okay? Not Areola, no. Glasner, no. To a certain extent, Nagelsmann, no. Eddie Howe? No. Thomas Frank? No. I can't even think of these other managers. But none of these managers, you can't do that, okay? There's one manager that I have in mind, and his name is Luis Enrique. Would be the level that you need because of what he's accomplished so far. That would be the level of manager you need to bring into this football club to act the way you want. If we don't do that, which I don't think they will, because I think Enrique is a guy that has succeeded to a certain level. Even a Tuchel, even a Tuchel. Tuchel didn't come with us because he wanted certain control and they weren't willing to give it to him. Okay, and Tuchel's won the Champions League. If you want that sort of manager, or if you want to do the things that you want to do in terms of the Champions League, the Premier League and stuff, we need that level of manager. If we don't get that manager, well then I wish everybody good luck. Because, listen, I like Areola a lot, yeah? I think his football is brilliant. I think it's pretty close to something similar to like a Fergie or just a little bit of like, what United usually plays, okay? Or used to play. And I like the football. When I watch Bournemouth play, it's always exciting. It's good. Now, he's struggling there, yeah? And, listen, Bournemouth have a certain level of players. But what I will say is that I don't think that would necessarily go well because the level he is at in terms of a manager, we would then be going back to the same shit we just went through in terms of if you're going to go with a guy like that, and it could go better than Ruben. I'm not saying it would go worse or it would be just as bad, but what I'm saying is if you're going to go with a guy like that, with a record like that, with a CV like that, then being a top team in 2 seasons ain't going to happen because they're just not that level of a manager. They're just not that level of a manager. And this is why Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, if he is actually, which it seems like he's dead on, if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer actually comes back as interim manager, and even Michael Carrick to a certain extent, these guys really shouldn't get the job. Now, the problem is somebody might say, well, listen, we're not going to get Enrique. He's a top manager. Why would he come to his football club? And maybe you are right. And I kind of believe that, Listen, managers are funny. Football people are funny. They have egos. They don't really give a shit about outside noise. They might look at the situation and say, I think you can make an argument and say, well, look at what they did to sort of Ruben or Ten Hag or something like that. And if you were a manager, why would you want to go there? Wouldn't you look at it as like, look at how they operate. It's fucking shit. I don't want to go work with these people. But managers are funny people. Professional people are funny people. And they're also human beings. People might tend to be like, yeah, well, what happened to Ruben is, I wouldn't like that, but it ain't going to happen to me because I ain't fucking Ruben. I'm better than Ruben. Or, I would do it differently or shit would go way different. So, like, if I go there, that's not going to happen to me. Until you come to the football club and you realize how fucking stupid these people are and how incompetent they are and how poorly the club is actually run. And then you realize you're fucked. So Lucky says, I'm sick of defensive Luke Shaw, sell Ugarte. Well, Lucky, I don't think we're going to do anything. Well, I don't think anything is going to happen. I think absolutely nothing is going to happen in January now that they sacked Ruben Amorim. Because essentially, Ruben's stance was back me or sack me, and they sacked him. So there's nobody to back right now. There's nobody to back. There's nobody to go and get people in. Also, it's kind of hard, although albeit I would argue that they should be able to, kind of do two and two, and I don't really think it's an excuse. You should be able to go and get a player that is going to help the squad for the rest of the season. Like I said under Ruben, if it's Ali, he should get that guy to use, and that person should be thought out well for in what direction are we going? So now we're going back to playing a 4-back. So now we need wingers, It's a fucking mess. It's a disaster at this football club. They are disasters. They are. I don't even know what to tell you. I really don't even know what to tell you. And that the fact of that, it's like, bro, we had wingers. We had a bunch of them. We still have some, but it was like we had more and we got rid of them because they didn't fit the system. And now we got rid of that guy and his system. And now we're going back to a 4-back. And now we're going to actually need to go get more wingers. And it's just like, why? Why? And I tell you what, people are. The next one up is Jason Wilcox, right? People are really focusing on Jason Wilcox specifically, and I would just say, let's not do the 1-by-1 thing. Let's not go from Amorim to now we're gonna go to Wilcox, and then eventually we'll get to fucking Barada, and then eventually we'll get to Sir Jim once all those guys are gone, and maybe we'll make a pit stop for Vivell, although I think that would be a mistake. But then we'll go to Sir Jim, and then maybe Sir Jim leaves, and then we'll go to the Glazers. Why don't we just call the whole fucking thing out all together as one giant clusterfuck of a ball of a shit ball that it is? It's all the same. It's the Glazers, Sir Jim, and then all their people. I don't believe in going up the food chain. I believe in starting at the head and cutting it off. So, people are already targeting Wilcox. They're already going at Wilcox heavy. And I'm just like, for me, Wilcox and Barada, get them the fuck out. Essentially, Sir Jim and the Glazers could all go too. But if Sir Jim's going to be stubborn and not go anywhere, I would say, well, at least fucking hire more competent people. Because, I don't know. Barada wasn't a CEO. I've been trying to give him a chance, but also, I don't know how you force in somebody like Ruben, disregard your director of football, which is Jason Wilcox, who had, was sort of a bit weary about Ruben, and so was Vivell. He disregarded them, pushed Ruben through anyway, as far as they reported. So I don't know if something else came out, but that was the last thing I saw reported. And instead of taking that into consideration, he pushed it through. I guess he was going off his Man City sort of list and sources and what they were doing at that club, and Ruben was on the list for that to replace Pep. Which, by the way, if Ruben went to City, he'd probably be all right because they'd buy him whoever the fuck he needs. And it's similar to Pep Guardiola going out the other day, where I think I literally had a tweet about this, somewhere, because I seen them post something, and now I need to find it because I need to say it accurately, and I don't know where anything is on this desktop replies. So it was something about the fact of that. I think Pep Guardiola was asked. I don't know where the fuck it is. Oh, so yesterday, I guess it was in his pre-match press conference for the match that he had today. He was asked on January signings, and Pep comes out and says, "We'll see the transfer market, and we'll be creative. We'll find some solutions." Now, this guy's coming out and saying this while they are, what are they, second? They already spent a shit ton of money, and they're ahead of us. And he's coming out and saying, we're going to look at the transfer market, we'll be creative, and we'll find some solutions. Our people, the scumbags that are running our football club, the incompetent idiots that run our football club, the cheap, greedy bastards that run our football club. You know what they say? They don't say, listen, we're going to look into the market, we'll be creative. They don't tell you we'll be creative. They don't tell you we're going to find solutions. No. What they tell you is our top targets are only available in the summer, so no business in January. You know. And then our fan base demands a manager to succeed, compete with and beat Manchester City or, Liverpool or an Arsenal, who all spend money and who are all going into the January. Arsenal tonight, they're at the top. But tomorrow, if they win, they get to be 8 points clear. I can bet you all the money in the world that they are going to go and buy somebody in January to guarantee that they win the league. I can guarantee you that City are definitely going to go make a couple transfers to try and catch up to them. I can guarantee you, and Liverpool, I think they're already doing it, but Liverpool are definitely going to go buy another 1 or 2 players to try and go up from where they are. But us, Manchester United, no. We can only get Wharton, we can only get Baleba, we can only get Elliot Anderson. We can only get them in the summer, which is bullshit, by the way, because if we don't get European football, if we don't get Champions League, Wharton and Elliot Anderson ain't coming to us, and we're not going to have a lot of money. So we might get Baleba still and pay 80 million or some shit, but you could kiss the rest of the other players that we actually need, because 2 years without Europe, 2 years without European football is detrimental to this football club, and we already can't afford to do a lot of things because we're already 1 billion in debt, and we're walking thin ice to a certain degree. So, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Listen, I will say this. I think, what the hell is going on here? Oh. I will tell you this. I'm scared about where this football club is going. Ineos, here we go now. Oh my God. Even these people, even Tim Sherwood and Jamie Redknapp are sitting on Sky Sports, and the first thing they said today was it's not about the system. These men were talking system for fucking months, and now it doesn't matter. Yeah, and listen, they're not United fans, okay? So they're gonna be hypocrites all they fucking want. But I mean, talk about morons. Talk about idiots. Talk about people that don't actually have a real IQ in football. Talk about people that get fed what to say. I mean, Tim Sherwood, there's a reason why you failed as a manager and why you're not a manager and why you're sitting in the fucking studio next to Jamie Redknapp, who also, what are you? Your father was a decently good manager, but what have you done? What the fuck do you know? Okay, so they're there on Sky Sports preaching to everybody that, it's the system. And then the first thing they come out today and say is, it's not about the system. Oh, really? Oh, really? Because that's not what me and a bunch of other people were saying. And we were like, listen, we get it. You don't like a 3-back. The football might not be as pretty, maybe, or it might not be your preferred style. But everybody was saying that it's going to get way better when we change the formation. And I was saying, I don't think it's going to get that much better. It could get decently better because depends who comes in, depends who's in charge. But the amount of how good people were trying to say, how good it's actually going to get, though in the manner in which they speak, in they were talking like we were in 15th again. And they were talking about if we change the system, if we change the formation, the level of difference is going to go from 15th to 2nd. That's how massive they talk about this. And I'm just I think you're wrong. I think, listen, could you get a couple more points and maybe a couple better results? Sure. But I was ultimately, I still think it'll be shit because I don't think the team is good enough, and I think the players are not good enough. I don't think they are the level that we need them to be for what people demand. And ultimately, like, they will be found out. Just like they were found out when we played a 4-2-3-1, just like they were found out when we played a 4-3-3, just like when they found out when Ali went to go play a 5 back once upon a time and he beat Spurs 3-0 and then he played it again and we took the piss. Just like when we played, sit back and try and counterattack with Mourinho. And just like how it was under Van Gaal when he told them to pass sideways and don't go forward. It's all the same. Ultimately, there is a couple updates here as well. And listen, this has been sort of a hybrid show because for all the people that have supported us, and I appreciate everybody smashing the like button that's been here, and I appreciate everybody that's watching, that's tuned in right now at this hour, especially if you're overseas and you're not, in America with me. If you're overseas, I appreciate you being here because it is late and it is a Wednesday. So, but listen, I wasn't going to go live because I got, work schedule change and I'm going to be getting home later now during the week. So I won't be able to really go live at 8:15 p.m. UK as I have been doing on a consistent basis. So it's going to have to be a sort of a wait and see sort of thing, okay? Like tomorrow, I'm not going to do it. I don't plan on doing it. Maybe if they announce the interim manager, which I expect to be Ali. And, maybe there's some other surprises. Maybe Carrick's there with them. I think it makes for an interesting sort of conversation. So I might have to do it. But at the very least, I will do videos where I'm going to record 10 to 15 minutes on the days that I can't actually do the live streams. And I will release them later to you guys. The following day, probably middle of the day or something. And you guys can watch that. And, we can sort of discuss back and forth. I'll talk about a topic. Get in the comments. Leave your thoughts, opinions, and stuff like that in there. And then, we'll sort of have a discussion that way. Until I get a day where I'm free, where I'm not working, or whatever. Because when I'm not at work, then I'll be able to do the stream. So tomorrow, I'm already definitely, won't be able to do a live at 8:15 for sure. And then I got to see tomorrow, what the deal is. I don't know if it's going to be the same case for Friday. It could be, and it could be something similar for even Saturday. And maybe even Sunday. I'm not 100%. My job right now is not really like a super concrete schedule. So, I could be working all those days, or I could be, off or whatever, or, out earlier or whatever. So, just keep that in mind to all the people that are actually watching, and that would be wondering where we are. But update from Fabrizio Romano real quick before we get out of here. And if anybody has any sort of final thoughts, comments, opinions, please get them in the chat. And if anybody hasn't hit the like button, please smash the like button as well. I greatly appreciate it. It's massive to the channel, so thank you. But this came from Fabrizio, like literally 20 minutes ago. Said, when Manchester United met De Zerbi and Tuchel in 2024, both managers decided not to proceed because they felt it wasn't the best moment. They didn't reject United as a club. Now it's different. Of course, United are in a better position in terms of players they have and the project they have. I mean, listen, did we upgrade the squad from last season, especially the attack? Yeah, we did. We did. Listen, are we in a... I don't agree with the project, though, because I think the project is in fucking disarray. I mean, I don't even think the project is real anymore. I tried to give him the benefit of the doubt that the project was real, but I don't, the project's not real, is it? It's not real. So, what else? There's a couple other updates here real quick. Listen, on Darren Fletcher as well, yeah? I mean, I don't think that we need to necessarily rush anything. I I don't think they need to rush into a decision. I think Darren Fletcher showed enough sort of tactical, um, you know, not even tactical, just I think he just showed that like, yeah, like he can set the team up to go and play. You know what I mean? I don't blame him for the result or anything like that. It's just what I've been saying the whole time. I don't think the team is very good, and many people wanted to blame it on solely the manager and solely the system, and because we're playing a 3-back, and I just never said that that was the case, and I still don't believe it's the case, and I don't think it'll be the case when whoever actually is interim for the rest of the season is. So I don't think we need to rush anything, you know. I would still like Carrick. My preference is Carrick. And I would like to see him given a role. And listen, if Carrick is the guy and they make Ollie sort of his assistant, I won't be mad at that. You know, I won't be mad at that, because I think it's different if you are a manager that we sacked, that you then come back to be sort of an assistant, okay, for a guy that we are sort of giving the new sort of run. Okay, and it's sort of like roles reversed, so I guess it's kind of a bit weird, but yeah, I just don't like the fact that we literally, he was our manager and we sacked him. And I just don't like the fact that we would go back to rehiring him. I think it's kind of like a joke. I think if we actually do it, because right now I don't think too many people, non-United fans, like sort of like I don't think they actually believe that it's like going to happen. I think they've seen it and they're like, yeah, why the fuck would they do that? But if we actually did it, I think everybody is going to take the piss out of us, and they're going to laugh at us, and they're going to say, this club is literally a fucking clown show. How can you have sacked this guy and now you've brought him back? You know? And I'm sure some managers have done that shit at some point, but it's like, the point is, you don't really see that anymore, do you? And there's also a couple other candidates. Like, I don't know, just take the whole class of 90. Take the team of 99, run down the list, and pick one of them to be a manager besides Ollie. Go ahead. There's a whole like squad there for you to pick at this point that I would prefer. So, we did get the update saying that in search of a permanent manager, Premier League experience is going to be important. Now, I will say something about this as well. The ability to play quality football and trust young players, they say in caps, something that the club wants to do, especially Ratcliffe. He wants to trust a lot of young players and build their own talents. Now, I will say a couple things here. Does he want to trust a lot of young players because he truly believes in the young players, or is it going to be because he sees them as a way to raise capital and money? Because part of the problem is, and every club is starting to do this, and it goes against sort of our thing, but I also kind of get it from a certain business standpoint. It's not necessarily the worst thing, but definitely, I'm telling you, they're looking to... The reason why they're getting a shit ton of youth is... Listen, it's probably for a couple different reasons, but one of the reasons in there is definitely because they're looking at Chelsea and even Manchester City to a certain degree, and they're like, these guys getting a bunch of kids that are worth absolutely nothing. They, bring them up a little bit, and then they sell them for whatever price, and they're pure profit. And when you're doing that, it's sort of a cheat code to the system of financial fair play and PSR, okay? Because if you're signing a shit ton of these youngsters that literally cost like basically next to nothing, and you sell them each for 10 million, that 10 million is really like 30 million because of the pure profit thing. And when you sell a bunch of them, you're now breaking in a bunch of money. Now, I would hope that if they're gonna do that, one, don't sell, obviously, like, our best players. Don't sell them without giving them an actual opportunity or chance. And three, if you do end up selling them, that money has to be put back into the first team, okay? It doesn't fucking go towards paying the debt, or well, not the debt, but like, you know, the interest on the debt and shit like that. No. We're not going to turn into a fucking factory to sell young players to fix the Glazers' mistakes. Okay, they can fix their own shit. The money that, if we're going to do that, the money has to, at the very minimum, it has to go back into the first team to make the first team stronger. But yeah, I mean, they're saying here that they want to trust young players, and especially Ratcliffe. Well, I don't fucking trust anything about Sir Jim Ratcliffe. So, and I think also, you know, at a time where tensions are a bit high, listen, these aren't dumb people. Fabrizio Romano is reporting that as well. Listen, they're not dumb people in terms of, they're not dumb in terms of they can assess. When I say they're not dumb people, it's not hard to go on the internet. It's not hard to have somebody that works for social media or PR in Manchester United, you know, one of those optics, one of those things. It's not hard to get those people to be like, all right, so the fans are obviously pissed. What are they most pissed about? What are they talking about? And somebody will tell them, well, they're mad, and they've been furious that Ruben hasn't really been too enticed to give young players as many chances as people might feel, or he's not giving them chances at all. And, you know, they've been really pissed about the whole youth thing. All right, great. Go fucking send this out to Fabrizio. Tell him that, you know, we're looking for a guy that has Premier League experience, and they need to play quality football, and they need to trust young players so that they get less pissed, and they think it's less our fault, and the blame Ruben more. And, you know, Ruben is the fall guy now, and Ruben is the worst guy, and everything bad that's happened at Manchester United is totally all his fault, and it's nobody else's fault. So I don't trust this update. I don't trust anything that has to do with fucking Sir Jim Ratcliffe or Ineos to be that manner. But yes, but listen, other than that, I'm going to get out of here. So if you enjoyed the show, thank you. I don't know when we'll necessarily be back live, you know, but I will try my best. I will try to inform you guys through a community post when I get the opportunity to do so. Those of you that are in the Discord, I will inform you in the Discord. But yeah, other than that, it's a bit up in the air right now. Like tomorrow, I don't think I'm going to do this again tomorrow, unless something major happens and I feel the need to do it. So it would be, you know, not this late. We started about, what, an hour and a half ago? So whatever time an hour and a half ago was, it would be around that time. There's also the possibility that I could always end up working later than I did today. So, you know, that would be out the window. So, yeah, just be on the lookout for maybe like a video or two on a specific topic. There'll be short videos, 10, 15 minutes. I'll give my opinions on something. I'll put them out. They'll probably come out, you know, like for example, tomorrow you won't get a video because we did a live, but at the very least, you'll get a video on Friday, if I can't go live. But if I'm able to go live, then tomorrow I will alert everybody that I will be going live. So, but yeah, I mean, let's just see what happens. You know, I think it is a disaster. I think it's a bit of a clown show. I don't really feel good about this situation at the football club right now. I'm absolutely pissed and furious at Ineos, and I think they've lost my trust. They've lost my respect. So I ain't gonna back them anymore. I think everything that they do, I'm gonna flip now, and I'm gonna go completely 100% against on everything they do until they 100% prove me wrong. So, listen, maybe in the end, it's vindicated that they should have sacked Ruben, and that it goes okay with Ali, and then in the summer, we actually, you know, have a good transfer business, and we get a good manager in, and you know, and the following season we're way better than we were before. That's fine. If that happens, you know, at some point I'll hold my hands up and say, listen, I was wrong. They were right. And, good. Because that means the football club will be in a sort of a better position. But until then, I mean, they've lost all my trust. They've lost all my respect. The only one that I still sort of like in there is Vivell at this moment in time. I still think, and I've said this for a while, I think Vivell is probably the best guy that we got in there, football-wise. And I've always sort of said that you could go back and look at the old shows, but I said that I always felt like Vivell was better than Wilcox, or smarter than Wilcox. And I definitely think that now as well. So I don't have too much against Vivell. I don't really know how much power he controls there and what sort of decisions he's been made a part of. And, there was a story that said that he came out that he was influential in Ruben sacking. Like, I'm not fucking mad at him for that, though, necessarily. Because ultimately, I mean, that's not really his job, right? So he can have a say and he can have an input. But I think, I think he was. I think he literally got sacked because he called them out. So it is what it is. It is what it is. But listen, we'll see. Moving forward, I hope everybody is good and stay safe. Take care, and we'll see each other on the next one. Until then, we'll see what happens. Be good, everybody. Have a good night. And thank you for smashing the like button, and thank you to anybody that subscribed if you were new. And we'll see you, in the next couple days. Just be on the lookout over the next couple days. Not tomorrow, though, but, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, be on the lookout. I mean, we do have to play. What are we doing? We're playing Sunday now. We do have to play against Brighton on Sunday. I think Sunday I'll be home, I think, for sure, so I should be able to stream. I'm pretty sure I would definitely be home. I might even be available Saturday, so we'll see. I don't know how it goes, but everybody out, take care, be good, stay safe, and we'll catch you in the next one. Thank you for supporting, and yeah.